My name's Ron, and I'm a nurse practitioner with the Foreign Service, and I serve as a medical provider at overseas embassies. We have basically a primary care clinic that we provide the direct medical needs of personnel that are assigned to embassies overseas. We serve as a liaison with local resources that provide services that are beyond what our capabilities are. And a few other, sort of emergency roles that we play, but that's primarily it. I've been in 60-some countries. I've done and been a lot of places that were exotic, interesting, fascinating, dangerous. But one thing that comes to mind was when I first went to Baghdad in 2007. I flew in a helicopter that was blacked out at night and could look down and see the scattered lights of the city of Baghdad. And in the first place, it was an interesting place to be at an interesting time, and I hadn't flown in a helicopter very much, and certainly had never been to Baghdad, which I'd only read about in books in some exotic context from childhood, really, and being there and looking down from this helicopter onto that perspective at night with the moon and the lights of the city, it was sort of magical in a partly scary sort of way too, but it was certainly a memorable experience. They offered me a job sometime later, and I initially didn't plan on making a career out of it. It was, I sort of thought, gee, this would be a little adventure. I'll go off for a couple of years and do an assignment in Africa was what they offered me as my first post, which was Chad. It seems like in a world where things are, at least growing up in the United States, things are quite orderly and expectations are very clear cut. Our lives mostly are fairly organized, and it was sort of appealing to me to go to a place where that wasn't true. We have daughters that are 15 years old that were born in the Philippines, have never really lived in the United States, although we go back to our home in the state of Montana, where we do keep a place. We make a point of taking them every year back, and so that they know their grandparents, know where home is, know who they're related to, know their cousins, and have a strong connection with the United States, despite the fact that they've not at this point actually lived there. It ends up being such a rich cultural experience and such a great learning experience, and something that gives so much back to you that you can't really get any other way than traveling and living in overseas environments, doing jobs that are, you're really a part of something else that's much larger than just you or a small facility and a small relationship with an individual that you're providing care to. You're really part of something that's bigger.